So for the last 3.5 years, this network has lost millions of dollars, millions of households, thanks to censorship from big tech, but also, and this is key, guys, 2 members of the House and 4 sitting United States senators sent letters to all the satellite and cable carriers, even our advertisers, saying we were purveyors of mis and disinformation, and these companies should reconsider doing business with us.
Great guest today, Dan Ball, host of Real America with Dan Ball and the Anchorman with Dan Ball podcast. He's got a lot of opinions on our topic, our favorite topic, which is cancellation and censorship, and he's got his own journey of cancellation. We love to dig in. Dan, welcome to our show. It's great to meet you.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us today.
Dan, thanks for the invite. And anybody that wants to talk about getting canceled and censorship, I'm down with that, because let me tell you what, the network I work for, OAN, One America News, we know all too well about being canceled or erased or censored. They've been trying to do it for the last 4 or 5 years.
The reason why I'm so happy that you're on your show is because you've got your cancellation journey of your own, and you've got a lot of thoughts and opinions on the topic. Sort of like Alan Dershowitz. We had Alan Dershowitz on our very first episode. So he went through hell personally in Martha's Vineyard and being accused falsely by Jeffrey Epstein's, accuser.
I've had Alan on a few times to talk about how, and he's a liberal, he's a Democrat, and they hate him. They have canceled him from everywhere. I just saw him talking yesterday or day before about Harvard never invites him to anything anymore, and he's Harvard alum and professor emeritus, I thought, and they have nothing to do with him anymore because he spoke truth about Donald Trump and other things. Oh no.
And
gotta cancel people like that.
And our Constitution. He believes in our Constitution.
Yeah.
That everybody's a right to fair representation regardless.
It's funny how liberals these days don't, unless it suits them. Right? Then they'll find a piece of the Constitution or an article or a paragraph or sentence in a certain article or amendment and go, yeah, this we want to adhere to. Exactly. But most days, I think they feel like they just throw that beautiful piece of paper out the window.
A lot of hypocrisy in the air, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So take us back a little bit. You've served our country as a in the Army, I believe.
Air Force. Yep. So
take us back to your beginnings.
Yeah, I was in the Air Force as a journalist. I went in back in '93. I did my just under 4 years because I'd signed a 4-year deal, but they were offering early outs under the Clinton regime because we were downsizing and closing bases and in essence laying off troops. And so I did about 3.5 actually because they let me go early. And I got into television right away as a photographer, then a reporter, then a news anchor, then a news director, ran a station for a bit. And I ran for Congress in 2018 in Sonny and Mary Bono's old seat in the Palm Springs, California area. Lost that bid for Congress and tried to get back into local news because I had worked in Philadelphia, Fresno, Palm Springs, Grand Rapids, a whole bunch of different markets over a 30-year period after I was a journalist in the Air Force, because that's where I got my journalism training, working for the Armed Forces Radio Television Service. And while I was trying to get a gig for about 2.5 years, nobody would take me back because they'd see the resume tape and the piece of paper resume and go, oh, it looks good. You got all this experience. Your live reporting looks great. Your anchoring's good. We're going to do our background check or our due diligence, or do you have some references, and we'll call you back. No callbacks, because all you had to do in 2018, 19, 2020, for 3 years while I was job hunting, is look at my social media, and they're going to go, this guy ran as a Republican, and he's a Trump supporter. Yeah, we don't want him on our news staff. I guarantee you, if I was a registered Democrat and had voted for Biden and other Democrats, I'm sure I would have got a job back in local mainstream media news.
Here's the question for you. Who's writing your story, you or some random dude on the internet? If you're sick of Google, gossip blogs, or that one angry ex controlling how the world sees you, it's time to do something about it. Erase.com helps you take back your narrative by removing harmful content, outdated info, and straight-up lies from search engines. Your past shouldn't be a permanent headline. Erase.com gives you the reset button that the internet forgot to include. So don't let the web define you. Go to erase.com, use code ERASED for 10% off, and start owning your story today. Links in the description. Click it. Your future self will thank you.
But that didn't happen, and thank God it didn't, because in August of 2020, I got a job here at OAN. I'm sitting in one of our awesome studios in San Diego, California, where One America News is based. And Mr. Robert Herring, our boss, and his two boys, Charles and Bobby, who started the network about 12 years ago, they're here every day. I see the Herrings. I chat with them. They're a great mom and pop, privately held and owned news network. And so I got this job in August. We went on the air September 14th, 2020, with my show, Real America. Within about 6-7 weeks, we were the highest rated show on the network. Within about 2 months, President Trump, while he was still in office, was tweeting me and saying, great show. People are watching. Good job, Dan, DJT. Yeah. And I was like, holy, can I say shit? Holy shit.
Yeah.
A sitting president of the United States, and not just any sitting president, DJT, just tweeted me. So that was very cool in 2020. Myself, Chanel Rion, Pearson Sharp, other reporters and anchors and talk show hosts in 2020 and 2021, we covered the real stories that mattered. We covered the laptop and told you it was real in the summer of 2020. We told you the election was rigged. We told you that the COVID lockdown mandates, from the masks to the 6 feet of distancing, were wrong and made no damn sense. And then when the vaccine came out in 21 under Biden, we told you the mRNA was bad for you. When it came to fruition that it was causing myocarditis, it was causing problems with women's health, we reported on all that stuff. And that's when the censoring began in 2021. We got demonetized on YouTube. DirecTV took us down. Frontier, Verizon took us down. Facebook, Instagram started shadow banning us. All this happened between 21 and 22. So for the last 3.5 years, this network has lost millions of dollars, millions of households, thanks to censorship from big tech, but also, and this is key, guys, and David, you can go look this up, 2 members of the House, both Democrats, Issue and McCurney, I think were their last names, and 4 sitting United States senators, also Democrats, and I forget all their names, but these letters are on our website. Go to OANN.com. These law-breaking, censoring, unconstitutional lawmakers, I'll use that loosely, I'll call them leftist activists, these 6 idiots sent letters to all the satellite and cable carriers, even our advertisers, saying we were purveyors of mis and disinformation, and these companies should reconsider doing business with us. Wow. That was the same time frame when all of them then canceled us over a year period, guys.
Could you
think about that?
Could OAN?
It's illegal.
Could they sue? Could the network sue for that? Because that's obvious. That's obviously completely wrong.
We've been sued so much that I can't even.
No, she's saying, can you sue?
No, I'm sure I know that. I'm saying we've been sued so much that I feel like our owners have like a lawsuit hangover, lawsuit fatigue. We're hoping that members of Congress now, with GOP members in charge, and we obviously are pushing this, launch an investigation into what happened to OAN and go after the 6 House and Senate members who sent those letters. I was on Tucker's show last May, and I told this story to Tucker, and he just looked at me and was baffled and was like, oh, I can't believe this. This is illegal. Like, these people should be in handcuffs. They should be in jail. I'm like, I know. Sitting United States members of our Congress literally tell private entities, get rid of a private media organization. Is this China?
You know what?
Russia?
When you just said China, I remember having a conversation with my husband 10 years ago, and I didn't understand even the censorship in China, and he was teaching me, this is what they do in China, blah, blah, blah. And
it's like state on TV.
Yeah.
This
and
is when a member of Congress can get a cable carrier or an advertiser to stop doing business.
It's communism. It's communism.
When they were making money, by the way, they were making money off of us. Our ratings in 2020 and 21, before they canceled us, we were beating, in my show and other primetime shows, we were beating some of the Fox Business shows. We were beating Newsmax. We were doing very, very well. and then they canceled us.
So I want to go back with what I was saying about China.
Yep.
So David was teaching me because, again, his oldest son was living in China, and I was like, wow, that's so horrible. I was completely blind and oblivious to that's even possible in this country. So fast forward when they started doing this in 2021, I looked at my husband and I go, how is this any different than what they're doing in China? This is exactly the same.
Yeah. My son, to his credit, was living in Taiwan during COVID, which coincidentally was maybe one of the best places in the world to be because Taiwan shut their borders with China almost like from day one, so it was super safe. So he decided to stay there for a while and do his schooling. He was at Tufts University while he was there. And then as soon as he wasn't able to do his remote schooling any longer, he came back to the States and he's like, what is going on here? There's like China here. Because he was in a bubble over there. And he came here and he saw it. And he woke up. It's super cool because my wife and I we're awakened individuals, especially what happened over.
Yes, you're awake, not woke. Big difference.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to teach him how to wake up. He came here and he woke up like that because of where he had been. He saw there was like America.
He saw he had more freedom in Taiwan than he did here in the U.S.
Well, I mean, Taiwan is pretty cool.
David, this is. I mean, I'll be 51 this year. I started being a journalist when I was 18 years old, when the military trained me to be a journalist. So I've been doing this now 30 some years, 33, my goodness, this year. I've never seen this in my lifetime. This is so un-American. It goes against, I mean, there's a reason the guys in wigs 250 years ago put that little pesky amendment, right? The first one that says speech and press, speech and press, because they knew we came from a tyrannical government. We came from a monarchy. We were now giving power to the people so that 99% could not rule over one. Every voice gets their own voice. And they thought it was so important that every person have that free speech and be able to air their grievances, right, in public, in the public square, against their government. That's why we have the right of speech, the press, because the press needs to be free of the state, and then the right to assemble in a public square so we can use that speech and have the press report on our speech, airing that grievance with our government. Those guys were pretty damn smart.
The founding fathers, I mean, I'm not a historian, but I have such great appreciation for the people who created our country. It's like, wow, they thought of practically everything.
These guys were young. Go look up their ages, by the way.
How old?
Only, I think, was it Adams was older, in his 30s, maybe? I forget who it was. I could be wrong.
Geniuses.
But most of these guys were in their 20s and 30s. They were not old. We always say our old founding fathers. They weren't old. They were smart, young rebels who were like, screw the crown.
Great vision.
We love God, this country, and we're going to make a constitutional republic, not a democracy, a constitutional republic that gives every damn American the right to say and do whatever they want. And the government shouldn't get in our way. And so let me fast forward. This happens in 21, 22. We lose millions of households because of the contracts with all these carriers. Then the advertisers start running, and this place was in trouble. And thanks to Mr. Herring and the Herring family, they kept it together. Unfortunately, we had to downsize a bit. But right now, here's what's amazing. Since January this year, guys, we got on Dish for the first time. We were never on Dish before. We were on Direct. We got on Dish. We got on Sling TV. Just last week or week before, we signed with Charter Spectrum. And I can't say the other big carrier, but it's another big one like Spectrum. That one might be coming in a few weeks. And probably 80-90% of new advertisers returned. So they canceled us for 3 years. Guess what? Liberals and Democrats and lefties and big tech, all you censorers out there, we're coming back. And we're coming back in big and better way at OAN.
We have a lot to say.
Okay, I would say something first. I don't know if you know our story, but we were super, super censored. We came out, mainly me, because I have a big mouth, and spoke out.
Good for you.
And spoke out against the COVID shot. We own a school. I didn't want our teachers to get the COVID shot. I didn't want our kids to get the COVID shot. And boom, the entire world tried to cancel us, including the Democrats in the state of Florida, including the White House, Jen Psaki, what was her name?
Yeah, but Centner Academy, do you recall this story?
Redheaded stepchild, Jen Psaki.
I call her Chucky.
So did I.
I want to say this part because he's got to know it connects with them. Okay. Connects with them. So when they tried to cancel us, this was in about April, the end of April 2021. Now, half of my teachers quit. They had already signed contracts. Okay, they were like, basically because of the media frenzy, my principals quit. I mean, I was basically like in this, building alone, and I had to figure out how to quickly have interviews to find people who wanted to come and work for a school that were aligned. And your network was one of the networks that interviewed me.
Ah.
Yes, your network.
Who was that? Was that Stefan? Because we had a Florida bureau.
I don't remember who it was, but it was a Zoom. I was doing interviews nonstop. And in fact, I did some interviews that were on Fox that were supposed to be friendly, but they attacked me as well.
Yeah, because Fox is not the conservative network that it used to be. Okay, when Rupert Murdoch owned it years ago and ran it, it was conservative, and Roger Ailes was there. Forget the sexual harassment and the bad stuff Roger did, which he did do. They were good newsmen and they were conservative. Now that the boys have taken over and Rupert is in charge emeritus, so he's in the back, and the boys are in charge, the boys are liberals. Their wives are Democrats. So everybody thinks Fox News, they're patriotic and they're conservative and they're, no, they're not. Their boys are Democrats. They held a fundraiser, James did, at his mansion in New York for Biden before he dropped out. Go look it up.
What was the name of the
Stuart Varney.
I called him Varney on the show.
She was interviewed by Stuart Varney, and you know how he's like fast-paced. So
the British guy on Fox Business.
She does this great interview with him, and she's like, I thought that went pretty well. I'm like, you called him Varney like 5 times. His name is Stuart.
Well, I mean,
you can look that
Barney,
up.
I like last names. If somebody says, hey, Ball, or Bally, or Ballsy, I like that better than Tan.
Hey, Ballsy. So. Anyways, my point in bringing this up is that your network was amazing with me. And I even spoke at, who's the big show in the OANN were there? What's his name? Clark?
Charlie Kirk?
Clark show? I can't even remember right now. Anyways, they were there. They even interviewed me in person. So it was very friendly. Turning Point, I've spoken a few times at Turning Point, and they're always there.
We have Charlie's Turning Point people on all the time. And I mean, it's really been amazing. My wife and I, my wife works with me. She's my executive producer and my booker. And getting into this movement, the America First movement, back in August of 2020 was probably the best move of my life. And I'll tell you what, I don't have any regrets. I stand by everything I've said on this program and my convictions and my beliefs. And so does the network. We didn't apologize like other networks did. Wink, wink. Let's see, it rhymes with Fox at the end, but it's not Fox. It has an AX. Anyway, there's other networks out there that apologized for their election coverage, for their COVID coverage, or for their laptop coverage. Guess what? We didn't. And who was right? They told us the laptop was not real for how many years? And the FBI confirmed about a year or two ago. We told you it was real in 2020. Yeah. We said the election was rigged. We said J6 was a setup. We never backed down on that one either. All this stuff, we didn't back down. And guess what? We've settled most of the lawsuits that came at us. And we're getting back on carriers. We're going to have millions more households, I hope and think, than we had before the censoring, the erasing. And OAN is and will be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the mainstream media outlets, because we don't censor, we don't shy away, we don't allow big pharma to dictate what we do and say, because if you watch my show, unlike Good Morning America, every other segment in the commercial break, you don't hear this portion of Good Morning America, sponsored by Pfizer.
I know.
Yeah, you don't hear that on my show. Yeah. So I can tell you that mRNA is killing people, is making women sterile, is making healthy 20-year-olds have myocarditis. I can say that. I can say the laptop was real and Hunter is a piece of shit, and his daddy used him to make the family rich. I can say I believe the election was rigged in so many different ways, from social media and media coverage to the machines to mail-in ballots. I can say that. I can say without a doubt, by seeing the video of Antifa and BLM people changing outfits and radio and hand signals, that J6 was a setup. I can say all this stuff, and I will never, ever back down, because we see the proof.
Dan, I think we all can agree we're very fortunate with the new administration,
Yes,
but if it didn't turn out this way,
Yep.
things would still be perpetuating some of the really bad stuff that we've seen over the past few years.
And I'd still be speaking truth to power, but we'd probably be arrested. Like seriously, we here had a big sigh of relief in November because we were like, if she wins, are they going to come cuff us? I mean, I was one of those parents going to the school board meetings and raising holy hell during COVID. And then when the tranny stuff started hitting, I started going and talking about the transgender crap because I have a 17-year-old daughter. And then what I do on my talk show here. And now we launched this podcast a few months back in January when Matt Gaetz came on board. And we say even more on the podcast than the talk shows because obviously podcasts are a little different formatting and they go different places than a over-the-air broadcast talk show. We thought we were in deep trouble. But it didn't change how we broadcast. We weren't going to change what we were telling you because we were worried about a regime getting in power and censoring us more or fining us or arresting us. They tried all that.
You know, that's what they're doing in London, in the
Yeah,
UK.
they arrest people for a Facebook post.
Yes, they are going to their doors, arresting them for a Facebook, and that's the UK. We're not going to talk about China.
Which provinces up in Canada now made it where if you misgender somebody in public, they can throw you in jail for up to a year and $1,000 fine? Oh, there's crazy stuff happening around this globe with speech, just speech. Yeah. Like
Dan,
sticks and stones, kids. What happened to sticks and stones? They break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah. How bad did it get? How low did it get? So your OAN lost distribution. Verizon, FiOS, and DirecTV.
YouTube.
Herring stepped up to the plate. God bless them. It was super cool. But for you, how bad did it get? Did it affect your family? Did it affect your relationships? Did you lose friends and family along the way? We like to go deep on this stuff on the show.
I lost some hair. Seriously. Like it was falling out there for a while in the shower. I was freaking out. I told the wife, I'm like, my hair, look in the shower, look at my hair. She's like, why are you so stressed? I'm like, all this crap.
Were you stressed? You were pretty stressed?
You know, when we first went on, I asked her, I said, should I be myself? Because I'm a bit much, as you can tell. I'm a little hyper, and I just say whatever the hell comes out. I have no filter. And I think I have ADHD, but who gives a shit? And so I'm like, should I be myself or should I keep it more straight-laced? Because when I was a local news guy, I read the prompter. Yes, I ad-libbed, but not with my own opinion. Never. I just covered the news, and that's it, like a journalist is supposed to. But when they gave me an opinionated political talk show on a conservative network, now I'm sitting there the night before we went on, which was September 14, 2020, and I asked the wife, I go, should I be myself? What do you think I should do? Because I might be too much. And she's like, just tell the truth. Just be yourself. And so, to be honest, I didn't worry that much. I did stress a bit with the lawsuits and, because we got sued by Dominion and Smartmatic for billions of dollars and other lawsuits from people during the election coverage and whatever. And my name was mentioned. So I stressed a bit, but I knew what we were doing was one, important. Two, it was the right thing to do. And it was the facts. So I'm sitting here going, how can I worry or be wrong or stress too much when I'm standing by my beliefs, my convictions, by the facts I have found, and I'm speaking truth to power? That's my job. Yeah. So why would I stress about that? And now, coming full circle, now that we went through the hell and we're making a comeback, I now see on the other side, we were right to stay steadfast, to not waver, and to keep speaking truth to power. And to hell with the consequences. And now,
great example for your kids too. To see that you.
My daughter was more liberal 4 or 5 years ago because my ex is a school teacher, and she would get tired of hearing me come home and bitch about stuff, and then she found Charlie Kirk and TPUSA on TikTok, and about a year ago she went, Dad, I get what you're saying and doing. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I've been watching these Charlie Kirk videos, and these liberal people are crazy and stupid at college campuses. They're nuts. I go, yeah, kid. Now what? Now what about Dad? She goes, you were right. I'm like, oh, thank God. My kid has been converted.
Saved.
And Dad didn't even do it. Charlie Kirk did it.
We experienced the same thing. Of course, we dropped from 280 kids down to 70. Now we're at 340 kids. We voided millions of dollars of contracts, and we came back stronger than ever. So I'm a big believer in, if you hold your ground and you stay in integrity, it might hurt for the moment, but in the long run, you're going to come out stronger than ever.
Listen, you can take an old military, and depending on which force, they say it different ways. But like in the Corps and and the Army and the Air Force and the Navy, lots of different ones. It's God, honor, country. I'd throw in family in there. As long as you're putting God and your family and this country and you have honor, you'll get through it all. It might be hard. There's going to be some road bumps in life. It's hell. I get it. But in the end, if you are true to yourself and you put those things, and I would say almost in that order, you got to put God first, your family's up there, this country, and then just have some damn integrity and honor, you'll be just fine.
What would you say got you through it the most? Were you praying every day? Were you meditating? Were you, talking to, like for us, I have a rabbi that I was talking to. I had a monk that I was.
We have an amazing church out here called Awaken Church. We go to church a lot. We love our lead pastors, Jurgen and Leanne, who came to San Diego 25, 30 years ago from Australia, of all places, with a dream to bring God's word here. And we just got married in October down in Palm Beach at Mar-a-Lago, and they flew down from San Diego to marry us, which was amazing. So I would say going to church a lot, just talking with my wife about it because she works with me. So every day we could vent to each other and complain about stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when I would get nervous and worry, like, oh, should I say this? Should I say that? Should I do this? And then I'd just be like, screw it. Do I know this to be true? From what I've gathered, do I know this to be true? And do the people need to hear it? Well, then why should I fear it? Just say it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. I like to shoot guns a lot. That's actually peaceful for me, believe it or not. Because when you nail that target or that critter, you feel some pride and success in what you're doing in your marksmanship. So I love shooting. Riding my motorcycle, that's my therapy too. My wife and I love riding. If she doesn't go, I'll just hop on and go ride out through the mountainside of San Diego.
These examples are sort of forms of meditation in a way, because it requires you to be completely present. Shooting or riding a motorcycle, if you're not fully present in the moment.
And we just bought a 3-acre ranch a few months ago, and I just go home and I turn the phone off and I go rake and cut trees and throw mulch and rewire lighting and gates and fencing. And I've been doing that for the last 3-4 months, and I barely touch the phone because I'm just doing simple work, and that keeps your mind focused on that and nothing else. And so, yeah, I'm not a big therapy guy. I'm an old school dude, so I don't really talk to people about my problems. So I just go, I do those things, and the hair stopped falling out. And a matter of fact, I got to go prep and get my show ready, or I'm going to be late.
Okay. Maybe you could educate me a little bit. You're a journalist by training, education. As I understand, a few decades ago, there was a change that was made that allowed publications to not
propaganda.
What was it?
Propaganda. Obama signed it.
Yeah, it used to be who, what, where, when, and why, and then all of a sudden a paper could have a position. Yeah.
Yep. He removed a little phrasing that we had in, I want to say, since the 40s, that now allows a media outlet to, and I believe the word in the phrasing and the verbiage is propaganda. So propagandize. They can now have stuff that is not factual based. Again, I remind my viewers all the time, my show is an opinionated political talk show on a conservative network. Does Jake Tapper do that every night? Does Jen Psaki and MSNBC do that? Hell no. They act like they're journalists and everything out of their mouths is the truth and a fact because they said it. No. I tell people all the time, I read some of the news first and I go, and that's a fact. And then I'll go, just my humble opinion. I let the viewers know where I'm coming from. Nobody does that. Nobody does that.
Do you think this
and if you're on at 3 or 4 in the afternoon or noon, that's supposed to be a newscast. Prime time after 7 p.m. on the networks, those are opinionated talk shows. So all those prime time people, those are opinionated talk shows disguising themselves as journalists. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Why can't, just like the government, just like Obama changed it and made it worse, why can't they fix it with some laws?
That's a good question.
I want to say the garbage he put in there?
Yeah, it wasn't an executive order. I have to go back and look. I think Congress might have changed it and then he signed it. So you'd have to get Congress to act for Trump to sign it. I don't think an EO will do it.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a slippery slope since that legislation was passed, which led to everybody taking a position in the interest of getting eyeballs, and then the internet happened. So all these titillating clickbait headlines, and it just sort of polarizes us more and more. And then throw in social media on top of that to make things even more polarized.
Well,
based
David,
on the
doesn't help with
algorithms.
98% of the media outlets and the journalists working there and the news directors running it and the editors picking the content and the producers are all liberal mindseted people. Most people that go to college, get that liberal arts or journalism, broadcast journalism degree are liberals. So then they go work at the CNNs, the ABCs, NBC, CBS, all that. So they're all liberal. And then your tech people in Silicon Valley that created the social media are liberal. So, you know, when you've only got, and again, I'm not going to say Fox and Newsmax, well, whatever. When you've only got OAN and Right Side Broadcasting and Real America's Voice and you know, Bannon out there and Charlie out there and Benny out there, a handful of us doing this, when 98% of the legacy and mainstream is all liberal, what do you expect? The country's going to be divided. The country's going to be lied to, and the news is going to be skewed. Because even good old Wolf Blitzer and the most trusted name in news, CNN, they lie to people every damn night, or they skew, or they omit, or they just, you know, they tweak the narrative the way they want it. And they never tell you, oh, by the way, we're tweaking this, we're turning this, we're omitting this fact. No, they give it to you how they want to give it to you. And then, especially older folks who've been watching CNN for 35 years are going to go, well, that has to be the truth. Donald Trump must be a racist, homophobic, misogynistic, xenophobic, blah, 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 all the is and obias that they say every damn night, because they repeat it, and burn it into the American conscious head, right? It has to be true. The media is saying it, guys.
I think he needs to do an EO, even if it's temporary. Just
Right.
something needs to change.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yep, I agree. Well, turn it off. Stop watching that crap. Watch independent news. Watch independent podcasters like you guys. Stop watching legacy media from a guy who's been doing it for 33 years this summer. I'm telling you, I know most of these people. They're freaking lying to you, or they're too scared to lose their paycheck to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And I know this because I've worked ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. Yeah, I've worked for all of those affiliates, okay? And tons of different companies that own them over the years. Nexstar, Tribune, Comcast, O&O's owned and operated. I'm telling you. And I know a lot of the players behind the scenes that write the copy, that are producers and writers. I know a bunch of the talent that are on air. And they're either scared to say it, or they believe it because they're liberal, or they just are clueless and read the damn prompter. I call them prompter jockeys. And they don't care that they're telling you lies.
So I know you don't have a lot of time because you got to go to your show.
Yeah, I got to run. Sorry, guys.
Last question for you. For anybody watching this, and of course, the first thing is just stop watching that crap. But is there anything they can do reaching out to their politicians to help create change to stop the censorship? Because it's still happening. YouTube is still censoring like crazy. Yeah.
Oh, we know. We just got back on YouTube after like 3-4 years of being demonetized. And every time we upload one, you know, our team sits there and waits while it spins, waiting the 7, 8, 9 minutes to see if the video gets accepted and uploaded, because it might have a word in there you can't say. You guys know, right? You upload your podcast.
It's happened to us already on our new show. Yeah.
Yeah.
See? There you go.
They use AI. You know what? They're using AI to screen
It's a
it.
computer,
They do, and
a
I
robot.
said a word you can't. I said a word you can't say, and I'm sorry if this one gets dinged. I said the T word you can't say, unless it's in positive reinforcement.
What's the T
So,
word?
like, if I say, I fully encourage that we should help people transition in the transgender world, then they'll let your video stay. If I say the other way, I don't believe in, and say that word, you're going to get dinged. We posted a video with Dr. Robert McCullough, who testified last week in front of the Senate on the mRNA vaccine causing issues with women fertility and with myocarditis. I had the doc on. We played the clip of his testimony. We reconfirmed what the report says about the shot. Put it on TikTok. Second strike. You do it again, we're taking you guys off. Oh. It's a fact. He testified. It's a report. It's government issued. And TikTok warned us about putting facts up, guys.
I'm sorry.
So, my advice,
of course,
you blow up your assemblymen and your state houses, your congressmen and women at the federal level, and the senators, and you tell them to get Republicans and Speaker Johnson to bring it to a vote where we can stop this censorship of all voices. I don't even want liberal voices censored. Nobody should be censored in America, number one. Number two, I think, there needs to be some sort of labeling on the propaganda, and stop calling yourself media news outlets And if your show is an opinionated show, make sure you label it as an opinionated show. So people don't think, oh, I was watching a 5 p.m. newscast, and then at 7 I watched this show, and I think on CNN both are newscasts. No.
Right.
And
That's
you can't do
propaganda.
that anymore. Because the
That's the definition of
newscasters are biased
propaganda.
on those damn networks too.
Yeah. Great points. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Dan.
Great
Appreciate your
guest.
time.
Really enjoyed your time. Good luck with everything that you do. Good luck to us. Good luck to
Yes.
America.
Yeah, best luck to you guys with Erase. This is the new podcast. I hear great things from a friend of
Yes.
ours at TPUSA. That's how we got connected.
Yes.
Charlie Kirk's organization. Yep.
Yeah. Charlie's
TPUSA
coming
is
on
great.
in a couple weeks. Yeah, we're gonna see.
Oh
him
yeah,
soon.
love Charlie, love Charlie.
Yeah.
Well,
Amazing.
congrats to you guys.
Thank
Keep
you.
speaking truth to power. I
Thank
wish you
you.
much success on your podcast. If you want, check out my podcast. It drops every Friday at 7 p.m. It's called the Anchormen
I have.
Podcast.
Yep.
I
And then
will.
my talk show is Real America. That's every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. right here on OAN. You want to learn more about us? Go to the homepage. It's OANN, OneAmericaNewsNetwork.com. Thank you guys. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless
Thank
you
you.
as well.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.